The current administration is handing out hundreds of billions of dollars in tax cuts to the richest companies and wealthiest investors, cause why not, right? They paid for our president to be in office. They should be able to make the working class people suffer as they do the backstroke in their pool of golden coins. So what they're actively doing is gutting a law from 2022 that was made to be able to be sure that at least a sliver of the country's most profitable corporations would pay at least some federal income tax. This kept Microsoft, Amazon, and Johnson & Johnson, the multi-billion-dollar companies, from being able to report big profits to shareholders, yet only show low tax liabilities to the federal government, because apparently they can keep two sets of books. What they profit and show to shareholders to keep money coming in, and what they net after making up a shit ton of deductibles that they could then show to the government and say, we didn't even profit this year. Isn't that crazy? I don't even know how we stay in business. The economy these days, we should tax the poor people. That's where the money is. And this corporate alternative minimum tax was set to raise $222 billion over a decade. But here comes Scott Bessent, the man I believe in the afterlife will be chained to the heels of Satan the way Princess Leia was chained to Jabba the Hutt. He starts talking with the IRS, issuing these notices, probably signed in the blood of blue-collar workers, I'm sure because of how poor the top 1% is, they couldn't afford ink. And the notices are signaling that tax codes will bring in a fraction of that $222 billion. And these new tax breaks come in addition to the roughly $4 trillion package of tax cuts that Trump dumpity-dump signed into law in July. This is legislation that only benefits the ultra-wealthy. This legislation will add trillions to the federal deficit. And just to sweeten the deal a little bit, it all comes with steep cuts to healthcare for the elderly and cuts to food stamps for the poor. So my dad was a pastor, and it reminds me of a quote he said to me every day before I went to school. If you don't know them personally, and you have the power to intentionally hurt people, do it. Jesus would. Okay, let's just see what the power of the Treasury is. Scott Bessent, seen here proudly shitting himself, knowing he will use the tears of the poor as his bidet liquid to clean the mess later, can write rules to help the IRS carry out tax laws passed by Congress. But he can't make the laws. So what is going on? How is this happening? Why are my tears cleaning Scott Bessent's asshole when they shouldn't be? Tax economists are saying that Scotty Poopy Pants has clearly been enacting unlegislated tax cuts. Last month, the Treasury and IRS granted new tax relief to foreign investors in U.S. real estate. Again, why not? Seems par for the course that only Trump and the people who use him like a dime whore on Skid Row get to play on. In August, they withdrew regulations to prevent multinationals from avoiding taxes by claiming duplicate losses on multiple countries at a time. So what does that mean? Cheating. It means they can cheat on their taxes while the IRS audits the rest of us. Hey, fuck you. Poopy Scott and the IRS have also rolled back a law that stopped the rich corporations from using tax shelters, which is a fancy word for tax evasion. That amounts to another $100 billion in tax cuts, and likely far more. I can't even keep track. There's just so many zeros in so little time. Some energy firms are currently, right now, already benefiting from all this. The Chineri Energy, however you pronounce that, the giant natural gas exporter disclosed in the security filings last month that thanks to the most recent Treasury notice from old spotty brown pants Scotty, it was entitled to a refund of $380 million of previously paid alternative minimum tax. A refund from the government because of an unconstitutional notice from a pants pooper. What the fuck are these notices?